Welcome to RPG Book Club, the podcast where we play a little bit of a video game and talk about how it makes us feel. I am Sam Allman.
I'm Elias Sailor Eli Warren.
I'm Maddie Webben.
And I'm David Bernard Hauk.
And today we'll be discussing the fifth part of Dragon Quest V, Hand of the Heavenly Bride, up to the time jump, and what a time jump it was. But before we get to all of that, how was everyone's week?
Mine was mostly uneventful, but I'm still having like random anxiety fits, and so I asked someone else to do notes for me today, and they were very kind to do so. And
Yay.
So I still played, but I kind of got a little bit of a week off because there's way more that goes into playing the game and taking notes than just playing the game. So
yeah, it's been great
Totally true.
not being in charge of notes this time, because like I'd curl up on the couch and I just flick my finger for 3 or 4 hours and then I'm done.
So I'll go back to taking notes for the next time.
Yeah.
But I just needed a moment.
And I'm glad that this week was one where you didn't have to take notes, so you could just absorb the shit that happens, which was really cool.
Yeah,
It's
for
some
sure.
good shit. We'll get there. But what about you, Madeline?
Oh, I don't know, man. I'm continuing to experience an ever increasing crisis of housing proportions. I went and saw 2 places last week, and they both emailed me last night that they don't like me. That they didn't literally say that, but they didn't pick me to live with them. And I've got currently 3 more leads. One that I saw yesterday, one that I'm going to see this weekend, and one that I need to email back. And I don't know. At this point, I'm just like, oh, nobody likes me, and I'm going to be on the street because nobody wants to live with me. And that's just how it is. Awesome.
Or you should just move back home. And by home, I mean to me.
I don't want to. And I can't afford to move back.
Well,
I can afford to live once I get there because it's cheap as fuck in Texas, but I cannot afford to get there. Yeah. Anyway, whatever. My life is stupid. Oh, also the last few days I spent in a room counting 400 ballots, each ballot of which had 63 different people ranked from 1 to 63 in a ranked choice voting system. So I had to enter 63 different numbers on 400 different ballots, and guess what? People are bad at voting.
yeah.
A lot of the ballots have like mistakes, and you're like, you idiot, you left 2 blanks and you used the number 26 twice, and you didn't use the number 44. So what am I supposed to do with your fucking ballot?
Yeah.
Well, to those people's credit, I could not tell you my top 63 video games of all time in order. There's no way I can rank 63 of anything. Ranking systems only work with 10 or less.
You just rank the 15 that are the best at the top, and the ones that you really hate at the bottom, and the middle ones you just kind of go,
63 is a ridiculous number for a ranked choice ballot setting.
It's insane. It's fucking stupid. It was for a delegate thing, and there's 38 actual delegates, so there's 38 people that are going to win, and 63 people running.
That's silly.
Next time we're doing online.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, that's me.
Cool. What about you, Bernard?
My week was a little weird at first because I had to work a double shift, so 16 hours, and then the next day I had to work 12 hours, and so I was very tired for the weekend, and I played the entirety of what we're playing of Dragon Quest V last night because I lost track of what the days of the week were and spent all my time playing the adventure mode of Team Sonic Racing and Yoshi's Crafted World instead.
Yeah. Is Team Sonic Racing good? That's the brand new one, right?
Yeah, it's good. It's fun. The team mechanic is interesting but has serious problems. It's not better than Mario Kart, which is... The thing is that Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed is better than Mario Kart.
It is.
That's its whole thing.
It's the best Mario Kart game.
Team Sonic is not better than Mario Kart, so...
Okay.
Yeah, you hate to see it.
Yeah. I like things that are bright and colorful and fun and able to play with my kid, so I will probably get it.
The worst part is no Painter Dragoon level.
and no Ryo Hazuki driving an Outrun cabinet.
Yeah. And no Danica Patrick.
No Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh god, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was not the best part.
It wasn't.
But as for me, I have been undergoing a midlife gaming crisis, as it were. Sort of inspired by Maddie, a little. It's sort of inspired by Maddie's bad Sekiro opinions, actually, and
Extremely correct Sekiro opinions.
because on Hyper, Have You Played Resident Evil, available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, she mentioned that people should have relationships with games that aren't just about beating them. And for the most part, I do agree. I think she used that to support a bad Sekiro opinion. But focusing on just that part, I then was I've been, instead of picking a game to be the game that I'm working on, even though like I still have that, but like instead of like committing to that hardcore, I just have been like playing a little bit of a different game like every day and just trying shit out. And if something is cool and sticks and I want to play it again, I'll go back and play it again, but not like technically my current game I'm working on is Persona 4, but like I haven't played it in like a week because I've just been playing a little bit of Atelier Aisha or playing a little bit of Danganronpa or World of Final Fantasy or whatever, and it's been awesome, and everyone should do that. And we should stop beating games. Always. But
Most games are too long anyway. Yeah. Most games do not actually deserve to be beaten, in my opinion.
But yeah, that's all I got. Let's get this party started. So first things first, we have a little bit of Dragon Quest V news, actually, which is not something I expected on a game that's 20 years old. But the new trailer for Your Story dropped yesterday, and it looks dope. Did anybody watch it?
I didn't watch it. I am looking forward to watching it. You said it had spoilers, and I didn't want to get spoiled on a game that I know every single thing about.
As of today, it doesn't have any more spoilers in it. It's spoilers for what we've watched today. It's Hero turning to stone is in the trailer.
So is it Dragon Quest V just a remake?
It's the movie of Dragon Quest V.
Oh, they're making a movie?
Yeah, it looks dope.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like beyond
I bet it
Pixar
looks like
level.
Dragon Ball Z.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
Really?
They didn't use
don't
Toriyama's
like
art style
very much.
I don't mind it. But I think it's a good Pixarification of Dragon Quest V, but I wish it would have been Akira Toriyama.
Yeah,
I think it looks good.
Yeah,
I think that the environments look beautiful, and I think that the quality of the graphics is good. I just feel like the people just look a little dull.
I don't know. Bianca's still hot, so there's that. So that's
Bianca's still hot. I guess it's mostly just the hero. Honestly, I don't like how the hero looks.
Yeah,
I think he just looks. I don't know. He looks boring.
Yeah, but it looks dope, and everyone should go and watch it, especially if you are current as of today, because there'd be spoilers for today's episode.
Yar.
Yeah.
Man, speaking of there being Dragon Quest V news, like right after we started, I went on Game FAQs to look up something about the game, and I remember this. It was on May 23rd, in the year of our Lord 2019. I looked up Game FAQs, and the top FAQ had been updated the day before.
Weird.
Wow.
Well, you love to see it.
Is that not something that normally happens?
Not on a game that's 25 years old.
Well, it was the DS version, but not on a game that's like 14 years old.
Yeah.
No, I gotcha. I was mishearing you. Gotcha. That rules.
Yeah. But yeah, so let's go to Helmeneptera, everybody.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Well,
so
we didn't
what's-
discuss the honeymoon in Fortuna last week, did we?
because we didn't have one, so you guys can discuss it. Me and Maddie didn't get to have one.
Went to Fortuna, and it was cool. Talked to a lot of people there, and wanted to get caught up in the casino, but then I realized, oh, it's Tuesday, not Monday, so I don't really have time to do a lot of casinoing. So so I found one token on the ground, and I tried my hand at slots once and lost, and I was like, okay, that's it, I'm done.
Nice.
So there was slot.
Yeah. I managed to...
Oh wait, Fortuna, right?
I had bought like 50 tokens, and then I tried to bet on the slime races, and it took more tokens from me than I expected, so I ended up with 25. So I was like, well, I guess I'll go play slots, and played slots until I won over 100 tokens, and then lost them all to poker. But the most important thing was that I beat treasures and trapdoors. It took me a few tries, but I got the things from the boxes. So
Nice.
Yes, I did it.
Yeah, I am treating my TNT tickets as if they are Pokemon cards and hoarding them all in my bag and not ever going to spin them.
Oh my god, Sam, just play the game like a regular... Like, the game is strongly encouraging you to play it.
I don't like I have like a in real life like moral problem with gambling in general, and so in games, even where it's safe, I'm just like, nah, not for me. I don't care.
That's fair.
Also,
Like-
technically, TNT is not gambling. It's... You spin a ticket to play, and then it's like a mini game that you try to win or not win.
Yeah.
You don't like win coins or prizes, or you win prizes if you get to the end of it.
Yeah, it seems more like a Zelda gamble than a real gamble. So like I might go back to it, but it's one of those things where it's just like it sounds like a thing I don't care about.
Have you used your Tombola tickets?
No, I don't even know what those do.
Oh,
I just know what TNT is because that one was in Dragon Quest 3, and so I saw it in there. And
the
Tombola,
Tombola
you just-
tickets.
go
They're you know those little like spinny things that they have in Japan, and then
Yeah.
they spit out a little ball.
yeah,
Yeah, that's what Tombola is, and I keep getting the silver ones, which give me a new Tombola ticket.
I haven't gotten anything off of my Tombola tickets.
I've gotten rank 2 prizes a couple of times, which were like good potions.
yeah.
Also,
Perhaps at this point we should also mention that Maddie has whooping cough.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
why
yeah.
you have all those whooping coughs happening.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm sorry about all these whooping coughs.
yeah, because I'm probably going to miss
I
most
was
of
doing
them.
a lot better. I actually am doing a lot better, but I guess there's still some coughs. Sorry.
Yeah. That's also the construction sounds coming from her apartment is her whooping cough.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Everything's a mess today. Also,
Whooping
my
cough is
roommate-
really bad. It makes you sound like you're hammering things.
Also, my actual sociopath of a roommate is renovating the living room today. He didn't tell me he was doing that. I came home one day and all the stuff in the living room was gone, and some of it was in my room, and there's paint everywhere.
Fun.
So that's cool. You love to see it.
Love to see it.
It took me forever to beat TNT. Like, I had the worst luck. Like, my very first try, I like almost got to the end, but then every try after that was like, one of my attempts, I ended it. I ran out of dice rolls and finished the game on the starting space.
Oh.
It was that bad because on my final roll, I landed on the one that says "Start the whole game over."
Oh my god.
It was rough, but eventually I got to the end. I actually forgot what the prizes were, but they were very good, whatever they were.
Nice. I might go back and do it.
There are multiple TNT boards, so
Yeah, the first one that we encountered, I won on my first try, but I didn't try the ones in Fortuna. Because, again, I was in a hurry. I didn't know what day of the week it was.
Yeah.
whoops. I also did most of my playing last night, and boy, the final boss sure was harder than I expected.
Yeah.
Game gets hard at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was real hard. Everything took me like at least 3 tries, which in this game specifically has been a lot. Like I've done pretty good this time through. In Dragon Quest 3, everything took me like 8 tries, but this one I've been ahead of the curve, I guess.
Nice.
Probably because I don't have any utility monsters on my team, so all I can do is hit like a truck. So that's I nearly party wipe a lot, but my last dude hits hard enough to win. Is basically how I've made it through this whole game. But
nice. So we go on our technically optional honeymoons to Fortuna or where did
all honeymoons are optional.
Where did those other of us go?
Mine?
Well, the boat.
Ours. We just had the boat.
I went to the boat.
I thought the boat was Fortuna.
No, that's Ventuno.
No, Fortuna's that town we went to earlier.
Pontoon and Ventuno are the boat.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking about the boat this whole time.
Oh, okay. See, I thought maybe y'all were actually in Fortuna because y'all kept mentioning slots. Apparently, I'm a dummy and I didn't find the slots.
I figured...
You go down the stairs, they're in the middle of the fucking room. There's 6 of them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because
they're
all I
arranged
found was...
in a pyramid formation.
I figured you meant the boat, but I couldn't remember well enough while you were talking about it to correct you, so it's like, I'm just going to keep my mouth shut and not sound stupid.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I found TNT.
Let me have my mouth open and sound stupid.
Yeah. You're welcome.
That's so... Well, at least both of y'all were able to locate the slot machines. I just thought maybe that game doesn't actually have slot machines. Maybe Slime Racing and TNT. Maybe that's all there is.
I should have stuck to the slot machines.
I should have. One thing. I love at the very bottom. Oh, I guess it's a memorable moment. Whenever I'm already in it. I love at the very bottom of the ship. You get to the holds, and there's just like a zillion luggage. And people are just like, man, these rich people sure have a lot of luggage.
That's good. I love it.
That they do.
Yeah.
All right, so now we head to Helmenuptra, and we technically can go everywhere in the world right now. You can look at the tower where you fell off earlier. Did anybody go and look at it? You can't do anything, but you can just look at it. Did y'all find it?
Get to it?
No, you can get to the island, but you can't interact with the island because it's up on a super tall mountain.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
There's also another place that you can go, but the enemies are really strong, and I think you can't actually go anywhere. It's like you can land on this dark, mysterious island, and you can kind of go onto it, and there's poison, but I didn't keep going because I'm pretty sure you get blocked by mountains or something. Actually, you can't go everywhere. Did you notice how the game very cleverly gates you here?
Yeah. You're in the inside ocean instead of the outside ocean.
Yeah. The game's world map is actually a large inland sea.
Yeah.
So all the continents kind of make a ring, and if they don't actually connect, then there's like a little chain of rocks blocking you. So you cannot exit that. So the only actual places you can go are Ventura Brothers. You can look at the bad place. You can hang out at Nick Knackery. You can go to Mini Metal Guy.
Yeah.
You can go to Helmenuptra, and then you can go to our final destination. So those are all the actual locations. So there's
Final destination, 3. Fox only no items.
Exactly. Final Destination, that movie that I haven't seen, but people sure are fans of it.
My sister liked the Final Destination movies, as I recall.
Yeah.
I've never seen them.
I've never cared for them.
So the reason we go to Helmenuptra, by the way, is because a number of NPCs are just like, oh, you're going on a quest for the whatever. We heard that the Zenithian helm is in this place called Helmenuptra. Okay, obviously I get the pun helm, but what is Menuptra? What is that?
I think it's just meant to sound Egyptian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe so.
I was like, is that a specific like Egyptian city or something?
Yeah. No idea.
Not that I'm aware of. Perhaps.
Yeah.
Name of an Egyptian city or an old pharaoh.
The queen's name is Cleopatra.
Which that one makes
That's
sense.
so good.
It's also very bad.
It's so good though. Okay, so we head to Helmanuptra, and it's in the desert on this tiny island that doesn't geographically make sense to be a desert, but whatever. I shouldn't care about those things in RPGs anymore, but
Quit wanting realism in fantasy games. This is a hill that I am willing to die on.
though
I can't stand it when people talk about I need more realism in my fantasy.
no,
Why?
He's using this to say this shouldn't be a desert, not to support racism like people usually do.
Also, to
When
be
they
fair,
say that.
realism is mostly about racism or about dragons. In this case, it's about the basic laws of physics.
I don't want physics in my fantasy games. Thank you.
so a big one was in for the Frog the Bell Tolls. You climb up the icy mountain, like mountain ice level. Makes sense. You get to the top of the mountain and it's the desert level. Somehow higher elevation from the ice level is the desert. And I don't get that.
Yep.
Like that one at least needs something. But yeah, so we make it to the desert, and we go around. We talk to NPCs, and all of them are like, Queen Isis loves travelers. You should go and talk to her. So we do so. We talk to other NPCs, but I don't think. There's one guy that talks about the legendary hero, and he says that the legendary hero is Zenithian. Which would be a thing if you'd played Dragon Quest IV, because you know that's an important Doomaflachi for this trilogy.
Well,
but
It's a
all the things are called
castle in the sky.
yeah.
all the things are called the Zenithian things. So I would have
Yeah.
assumed that a Zenithian,
Yeah.
whatever that
Actually,
is.
You do learn from somebody that it was actually the hero's mom descended from Zenithia, like on high as like a big thing. She came down to Earth from Zenithia and then later bore the great hero. You learn that from somebody here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Somewhere. And so then, yeah, we find out that the founders of Helmanoptera were actually the legendary hero's party. And so after the legendary hero killed the bad guy for his Dragon Quest game, they settled here and started the place to take care of his hat, which is cool. So,
Oh, just quick aside, in case you're curious, the stuff they're talking about, this lore, is not the plot of Dragon Quest IV.
oh no, the 4, 5, and 6 are unrelated.
Yeah, just so you know, it's when you joked that it was the previous year's Dragon Quest 40, that was not Dragon Quest 4 or 6.
Yeah, no.
It's an unrelated lore.
Yeah, I was actually curious. I was going to ask, are they all linked?
It's not like in Dragon Quest 1 where they say Erdrick is the hero, and then you find out then in a later game you're Erdrick. It's not like that.
Yeah, no. But yeah, they should make Final Fantasy V 1 to tie in with instead of 2, like just do it 1 and call this one 2. But
That would be cute.
yeah, so we find out that Queen Isis is underground in the gardens, and the gardens are like a town with flowers and an oasis underground, I guess.
Yeah.
Makes sense, I guess.
Great.
It's really pretty. Really, really
Are
pretty.
you calling her Queen Isis? Her name is Cleopatra, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
I'm
Queen Isis, that's from Dragon Quest 3.
But also, I'm following along with screenshots from the Super NES version, but her name is definitely Cleopatra. But, sorry.
Queen Isis isn't a dumb pun.
It isn't. Cleopatra is so much better. So, yeah.
Yeah, Isis is just a regular name that unfortunately has some negative connotations nowadays.
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't know what you're talking about.
But, yeah, I probably will do that a couple times. Make sure you re-add in the puns this week, because Eli was like, "Hey Sam, can you take notes?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then so funny story about last night. Last night we call Domino's at 11, and we order a pizza and some wings. And then Domino's calls us back and says, "We don't deliver to your side of town after 8. We live across the street from Domino's. I don't understand it." But me and Summer were already like pajamaed up and ready for bed, so I wasn't about to get redressed to go then drive and get it. So I just canceled my order. So then I was like, okay, well, what are we going to eat to cook here? Because I'm starving. And then we sat there for 2 hours, literally not doing anything but watching Survivor and not eating for like 2 hours. And those hours were the hours in which I was going to write notes. So it just became a big ol' lazy, hungry, non-note writing adventure last night. So
it happens.
It does. So yeah, now we go to Cleopatra's underground oasis, and it's cool. So let's see. Yeah, so she asks if we've come to pay homage to the resting place of the hero, and we're like, no, we want your helmet. And she goes, well, I feel a power within you, so let's go see what that's all about. And she takes us down to a holding place where she has the helmet from Dragon Quest IV on the floor, which is cool. And you go to pick it up, and of course you can't because you suck. And she's like, oh, well, you're not the legendary hero, so you can't have this. And you then point to your bag filled with Zenithian equipment and are like, but I got the complete set. And she goes, I don't care. This is my religious duty.
Mint in box.
And so you leave, but now you know where it is. Does
Worst helmet ever.
Does anything happen on the way out?
I don't think so.
So I think on the way
she tells
out,
you where you should go next.
yeah. So on the way out, she's like, "Oh well, you seem really strong and cool. What's your dad like? I want to meet that dad." And so you're like, oh, my dad was Pancras. And she goes, oh, Pancras was hot. He comes from over there. And you're like, cool. And so you leave to go east to Gotha.
Yeah, she tells you that you are, in fact, the Prince of Gotha. You should probably go tell Gotha that you're not dead.
Mm-hmm. And
so we embark on the next lengthy leg of our journey.
You need to go let Gotha, you're not the hero they deserve, but they're the hero that they need.
Yeah,
exactly.
So,
good.
Thank you.
It was around this part where I saw my first King Slime, which I had never seen happen before, where they all
I had that happen a couple of
smushed
times
together, and I thought that was cute. I just figured King Slimes were just big slimes, because the only... Like, prior to me playing 1, 2, 3, and now 5, the only Dragon Quest I had ever played was Dragon Warrior Monsters and Dragon Quest Heroes Rocket Slime, which owns, by the way. Everyone should get up... If everyone who owns a DS should play Rocket Slime. It's fucking great. But in those games, King Slime is just like a race of slime. I didn't know they were like Rat Kings, and it's cool.
Yeah. And the first time you get one, you're like, oh my god, there's so many slimes. And then, surprise... fun fact, I also ran into my very first King Slime. I think it's the only one I ran into my entire playthrough, and it joined my party.
Nice!
Wow.
Sorry for dying. So, here's the thing about King Slimes.
Excuse me.
Stat-wise, they're not amazing. I mean, they hit well enough. They have good defense. They have nice stats. They have one ability so far, and one ability only, and it's Zing.
Zing?
Ooh,
Nice.
What is that?
It's your first. It's the revival spell, and it's the first time in the game you get a revival spell.
Oh my god. I need a fucking King Slime.
Here's the kicker, though. It doesn't work half the time.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's...
Yeah, one of Dragon Quest's, in my opinion, absolute best design quirks is that the revival spell revives you with half of your health, and it works precisely 50% of the time.
why is that good?
Well, you get a better one later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's your... Because the reason it works, and it only works for Dragon Quest's design. If you make a Final Fantasy game where your Phoenix Downs work half the time, fuck you. But for Dragon Quest, it's like, because every step you take is a gamble. Because you're like, okay, am I about to get into another battle? Should I press on or should I turn back? And I'm going to attempt to res this person to try and push on is itself a gamble. So you're like, do I want to potentially waste a lot of MP to get this person back, or just
anyway,
evac
turn
and get
if
out.
you're in battle,
Yeah.
which is even worse.
Or just evac and get the fuck out of there and try again tomorrow. And so it,
Well, yeah, because the way I see it is like before you get that spell, it's like no, you don't let your people die.
yeah,
That's how the game works. You don't let your people die. If you find a Yggdrasil leaf, then you're lucky, and you get 2 of them, and once they're gone, they're gone. FYI, later in the game, there is a way to get infinite Yggdrasil leaves. Not infinite, but you can always get a replacement for your one that you lose. That's another design feature of the series. But yeah, so for now, it's like, okay, you're not in the end game, so we're not going to actually give you a revival spell, but here, you can have Zing, and, just to ruin your life with it.
Yes.
Use it in ways that are very unsafe, and get
wrecked.
get overconfident and think that you can be okay, and then you don't, and then you get even more wrecked than you would have if you just had fucking run away to begin with.
So,
but yeah, it's very useful.
I think it was in Dragon Quest 2. It might have been in Dragon Quest 3, but I was like in front of the final boss, and one of my dudes died to a trash mob, and so I'm like, all right, let me just use some Zing, and I'll get the person back, and I'll have a little less MP than I wanted, but I'll have everybody, and I don't have to do this dungeon again. Zing failed. Zing failed. Zing failed. Zing failed. Now I have no MP, and the person's still dead. So I'm like, evac. God damn it.
Yeah, but before the end of the game, your hero, because the hero class always does get this, before the end of the game, your hero will have Kazing, which is a
100%.
reliable revive spell.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So
So
it takes a while, though.
It's been rough without it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool that this game doesn't
based on
have it, but what I hate is how expensive, like the gold per level thing for your party is real rough when you have 8 party members, and so they already take half your gold. So then you pay another 2,000 gold to get everybody revived at the church, and it hurts to not have a revival spell.
So it hasn't been replacing my party members when others wipe recently.
Yeah. So it's not when they
Are you in areas where you have the wagon with you?
Oh.
Yeah, we've had a lot of just 4-member dungeons this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't
Yeah, this
sure if
week-
maybe I had fucked something up.
I think both
example,
the
in the
big
dungeon-
dungeons this
go on.
week are just the wagon stays behind for some reason, and you only have the 4 with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
The dungeon we're about to do, the journey to Gotha. If you notice when you go on the world map in that cave, it's a very large cave with a big opening. That's how you know, oh, my entire wagon's going to come with me, because obviously we're going on a journey to Gotha. We have to take our whole wagon with us. We can't just be like, oh yeah, we left our wagon back at a continent away. But yes, the tower and the other place that we go are small, too small for your wagon to fit. So you only get your 4 people, which is tough.
Yeah.
For me, actually, for example, my Zing guy, he wasn't good enough to actually be in my party, so I left him in the wagon. So if someone died, I wouldn't have to abort mission at least, but I would exit the dungeon and Zing them, and then go back into the dungeon.
Nice. So, yeah, we passed a couple of places that are just there to heal your party on your way to Gotha if you need it. But
There's the not welcome inn, which is full of hippie stereotypes,
yeah.
which is
Like-
interesting.
They're all like, oh, hey, man, yeah, Gotha's up that way. It's pretty cool.
Peace.
Peace.
I love it.
Very strange, but okay.
Yeah.
There's nothing else there. It's
Yeah.
literally just an inn built into a big tree,
Yeah,
and there's
with
some
hippies.
hippies.
Everyone's real chill, yeah. You can't even warp. You can't even zoom. Oh, no, you can zoom to it. You can't zoom to the next one, though.
Yeah. So, so we make our way up this mountain, and somebody's like, hey, Gotha's on the other side, and we're like, cool. So, we make our way through. At some point, I think it's the midpoint of the dungeon where there is a town. I don't think anything happens in the middle of the dungeon.
No, nothing.
No.
It's once we get to the town.
Yeah. So when you get to the town, you get a 60 frames per second, super high animated animation of your wife fainting and falling to the ground.
It's sort of jarring.
Yeah.
My wife.
It's wild, especially because like so many other times, like Pankraz doesn't pick you up and get a special sprite to hold you on your shoulder. Nobody else gets special sprites, but they, for 3 different characters, gave you like 60 frames of animation for special sprites for them to fall down.
They could have just had the sprite go boop boop and be on its side, but no.
Yeah.
They really wanted to make it dramatic.
It's
also before this, I forgot to mention, Maddie and Deborah were climbing the mountain. Why were they climbing the mountain?
Good job.
They're climbing the mountain for love.
yeah.
Is that all you had?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
I
Yeah.
just had to drop that in there.
Yeah. So
So we're in
make her through.
Battenberg, I think it's called.
Yeah.
And your wife faints.
And
And you don't figure out why. They're just like,
Yeah.
the next morning they're just like,
Yeah,
Yeah, she's
people,
fine.
okay.
people from the inn run out and are like, ah, shit, there's a dead woman here. Get her on a stretcher.
yeah.
Yep.
And they bring her in, and you're like, oh man, your wife was exhausted and totally fainted, and oh well.
Probably because climbing this
happens.
mountain is it's a big mountain. You went up a lot of stairs. Just be careful, you know.
And one of the NPCs here is like, it's so weird that she's climbing a mountain in this condition. Wait, you don't know her condition? Never mind, I didn't say anything. It's good. But yeah, so we continue climbing the mountain. The second half of this mountain, I think, is the bullshit half, if I'm remembering correctly.
Where you have to go down.
Yeah. Where you
Down
go
and up, and
down and up and
back
back
down
and
again.
forth, and then like you do all of the things correctly, and it's showing you new content, and you think that it's great, and then there's a place where you can jump at the end of the new content, and you're like, okay, cool, I'm going to jump down because obviously this is where I do it, but that's a shortcut for when you're coming the other direction to get you back to the beginning. You actually have to jump one room before the end of the new content, and it's just, I hated it. I hated it so much. It was good.
I must have accidentally picked the right path because the path I picked was weird, but I was just like, I guess this is just how it is.
Yeah, there's in that last room. There's one more like staircase up, and if you jump off from the very top one, it takes you to the first room of the second half.
Oh yeah. No, see, if I see a exit or a jump off point, I'm gonna take that instead of a staircase.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So that's why I didn't fall into that trap.
yeah.
I got that trap that brings you back to the beginning, and I was like, oh, thank God, because my party's almost wiped. And I went back and was very happy, and it didn't register to me that I was at the end.
Nice. You're just having a good time.
Right.
That's especially nice because, as I mentioned earlier, you cannot warp to this town. So without that shortcut, Bernard, you would have been SOL.
Yeah,
Or I could have just gone to Gotha.
yeah.
Well, that too.
Yeah. So we make our way through that second half, which sucks, but
Making our way down to the town.
yeah. But
Thank you.
On our way through, we run into somebody, and they're like, "Oh, we don't usually get visitors." There was a guy named Sancho that just passed through, and he was on his way to Gotha, and we're like, "Hell yeah, Sancho!" So we take our way there. Oh, on the LP that I'm reading, the author's note was, "Why is climbing down a mountain so much more work than climbing up?"
Seriously.
So yeah, we make our way up to Gotha, and it's cool. So
By far the biggest castle in the game.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
there's an entire city inside of it, which is cool.
Deborah sees it and she's like, I guess it's she's like, I guess it's alright as far as castles go.
Yeah. So I, as I do whenever I'm shown a new place in Dragon Quest, is I don't go the direction that the level design is telling me to do.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I circled all the way around it, and I found Sancho before anything else.
Same.
Identical. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. The first thing I do when I get to a castle is I circumnavigate it.
Yeah.
I walk around the perimeter like I'm fucking Joshua in the Battle of Jericho.
Dragon Quest anticipated that we were not going to do what it thought we thought it wanted us to do.
Pretty sure what happens if you try to go in is they're like, no, you can't come in. We don't just let anybody come in here, and then you find Sancho.
That's
Yeah,
what I
because
thought.
when Sancho takes you in, there's a guard that you have to go past.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so you can get pretty far in it because the LP walked straight in and didn't go and find Sancho. That's how I was like, oh, that's not what you were supposed to do. But yeah, skipping past all his mini metal acquisitions. So yeah, so everyone there like has a boner for Pancras, which like of course, but sucks to be Prince Albert, which also this game is a prequel to Legend of Dragoon, confirmed. Yeah, so everyone here has a boner for Pancras, and it's super cool. And Sancho takes you up, and yeah, so we get up to the top, and Prince Albert has a boner for us, and it's like, fuck yeah, I hate being king. Take it from me. Just
Oh, thank God.
just please.
Prince Albert is Pancraz's younger brother.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
I love how everyone in this game is just so naively cool about monarchy.
yeah,
Yeah.
Dragon Quest games are obviously very much like an idealized, sort of tongue-in-cheek, cute version of medieval times. So yeah, so they're like, he's not even like, I don't want to be the king. He honestly is just like, you're the rightful king. We're so glad that the rightful king gets to be the king, because that's really the way that it should be, because we love monarchy and we love the divine right of kings.
yeah.
They're good, actually.
It's so great. And so while y'all are talking about that, stupid Nera has to feign again, and
Fucking bitch.
and Sancho doesn't have as tight of lips as the people in the last town do, and he's like, "Oh shit, she's pregnant."
She is great with child.
Yeah,
She's like stupid pregnant.
Yeah.
She's barely showing is actually what they say.
Right. So I guess she's like Lulu in Final Fantasy X-2.
but so for Bianca, she's also ripped. So like, what ripped girls don't usually show that much because there's a lot of muscle. But like, Nera is not ripped. So I should have.
Maybe she's just wearing very flowing clothes, or the hero thinks she's just getting real fat.
It's like, man, we have.
He loves her anyway.
It's like we have stopped to eat a lot, I guess, but whatever.
Well, remember, the hero is Goku, and it does not know what
so
sex
fucking
is.
stupid.
Or children, and he's mostly illiterate, which is why it's funny that they're like, let's make you the king of this nation. He's like, I can barely even read, y'all.
Do you think anyone gave him the talk while he was enslaved? No.
So like, what did Nera and Bianca do to this poor boy after their wedding? He's just like, I don't.
It was not an enjoyable experience for them. They had to teach him a lot.
It's so good.
Deborah
But-
was just like, I'm gonna make you a man.
Actually, that scene that they have, that they give each character a scene after the wedding to very clearly be like, this is the part where they fuck. Not clearly, but like in retrospect, that's what it's there for. To establish this. Actually, in that scene, Deborah makes you sleep on the floor.
Wow.
That's so good.
She's like, no, this is my bed.
How the hell does Deborah get pregnant?
Who knows? How girl get pregnant?
Yeah.
Pregnant.
How is Babby formed?
But
Pregnate.
yeah. So your wife is like, I'm so sorry that I kept this hidden from you for 9 months while we fought monsters in a
She's
mountain.
barely showing. She is not 9 months pregnant.
Yeah, it isn't even 9 months, so.
So
Oh, I guess there is one more quest. So I guess this next quest takes like a few months.
yeah. So yeah. So you So yeah, I'm
So
trying to
Prince
catch up.
Albert is like, hey, we're going to make you king. It's going to be great because I don't want to be king anymore.
Oh yeah, this
And
is where he
then,
says that.
Chancellor Jeeves is like, oh, but sir, shouldn't you consult
yeah.
with your advisor first, your chancellor? And he's like, nah. And he's like, but sir, he's got to go to Rite of Passage, which is a passage called Rite of.
Yes.
Yeah.
And get the
That's
royal
hardly even a
insignia.
pun.
But yeah, I love that the guy with the evil mustache downstairs reveals that it is indeed an evil mustache at this point. He's obviously like, no, I was going to murder you and take the throne. Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
But, especially because there's already an heir. So fuck you. But yeah, so we have to go and prove that we're king. So we go to the Rite of Passage, and yeah, does our wife come with us here? I don't remember.
No.
Okay,
No,
yeah,
she
so
stays behind.
Yeah, she leaves the party at this point.
Yeah, she stays behind.
For good.
Yeah.
Actually, you don't realize it, but it's for the rest of the game, unless I'm forgetting some of the plot of the game.
Oh, I thought you were saying for good reason.
Oh,
Because
That
she's
too.
pregnant.
But also, no, she's done these, and she is a good little JRPG member and does put all of her stuff in your bag.
Very nice.
Yeah. Yes,
love when,
I appreciated
love when people
that.
do that. I hate that. Like, I spend like 10,000 gold on Aerith, and then she can't even put her stuff in my bag when she dies. Like, why didn't we loot her corpse like a good JRPG party?
Sobbing your eyes out, taking all of her stuff after she's
I guess I
Well,
should
they
have
probably
warned-
if they hadn't left all the like iron cuirasses and stuff on her, she probably wouldn't have sank to the bottom of the pool, which she's got to do.
Yeah.
I guess I should have warned y'all to like not use seeds on your wife or whatever.
I used my seeds on my wife.
I used some seeds on my
That's
wife.
why she's
I'm not
pregnant.
making a joke. I'm
okay.
just saying, I used seeds on my wife.
I will say in general, Dragon Quest. Here's the thing: Dragon Quest is not a series defined by evenly balanced parties. It's defined by your hero is the best person in your party, and you're kind of dragging everyone else along. That's not really true. That's just my sort of me exaggerating. Point is, if you ever don't know what to use your seed on, just use it on the hero.
Yeah.
The only time you should ever not use seed on your hero, like strength, hero, defense, hero, agility, pretty good for hero. The only things you shouldn't put on the hero are like magical attack, because that's not what your hero does. Maybe MP, but honestly, your hero can usually use more MP. And maybe agility. Like, maybe your main healer, it would be nice if he got to go a little earlier in the round. Then give that to give him the agility seed. But if you're ever in doubt, you don't need to think about, like, even party balance. Just give all your seeds to the hero. It's fine.
Yeah.
I've been hoarding them.
Yeah.
Don't hoard them.
Don't hoard them. Pump them all on your hero.
Yeah, they give you like 4 stats each.
Pump
like
your
they're
hero full of seed.
overpowered.
and also, if you're stuck on a boss, one thing you can do is hoard them until you get stuck on a boss, and then pump them wherever you think is most advantageous. So it's like
I did that.
So it's like, oh, whoever's doing your most damage right now, whoever's your main hitter, give them a bunch of strength seeds so you can beat this boss. Maybe that monster isn't going to be in your party later, so technically that's a waste. But like, that's okay. Like, just focus on beating this boss.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Focus on the here and now. But yeah, FYI, and you don't worry. Like, oh, what if I'm not going to have this monster forever? Whatever, just be chill with it, right? Or just give it all to your hero.
Yeah. So, on our way to Rite of Passage, everyone talks about how evil people came in and kidnapped Mata because she had magic powers, and you're like, oh, cool. I hope nothing happens to my wife with magic powers in the other room.
Whoops.
And
I'm sure she'll be fine.
And so
I'm sure she'll be fine.
and so you leave and head to the Rite of Passage, which, as I'm looking on the Super NES screenshots, was ugly in Super NES, but it's gorgeous in
It's
the DS.
beautiful.
I
It's
cannot
got
get enough
particles.
of these fucking 3DS graphics.
Yeah, it's so cool. So what you do for this one is, like, this is the most Zelda dungeon out of all of the dungeons, which is really cool and nice because, like, gauntlets of just survive are fun and all, but I also like puzzly dungeons a whole lot. I grew up on Zelda. I love when people do that shit. But so, like, this one, you have, like, in proper Zelda fashion, Fee comes out at the beginning and tells you how to solve all the puzzles in it and just follow the emblems. But you still have to like rotate things and like match icons and stuff. It's cool.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. And so you make your way to the bottom of it, and skipping all of his bullshit that I don't care about.
You find the royal sigil.
Yeah.
And
you get that
pick it up.
Yeah,
and,
you get that.
And you're like, weird, there wasn't a boss.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was like, weird, I can't evac. Why can't I evac?
Yeah.
I immediately tried evacing, pretty much knowing it wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
So I wasn't actually trying to get out of the dungeon. I was like, I wonder if there's about to be a boss. Yep, there is.
Yep. And so you try to leave, and they're like, hold on there. And you're like, no, I don't want to. And so then you fight Robin Hood, which is he was a boss in Dragon Quest 3 that kicked my butt.
Throwback there.
He kicked my ass for like 6 months in Dragon Quest 3. I like almost stopped playing because of it, but I'm glad I went back because that game's really good. But
he kicked my ass. Sorry, go on.
Oh, Robin Hood stops you, and it's Robin Robbin apostrophe Hood, because he's the Dragon Quest monster type that is a man with a hood on.
Yeah.
Robin Hood.
He and his partner stop you, and his partner's like, some folk don't take too kindly to the idea of you being king. And he's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And then they try and kill you. And they probably succeed.
Yeah. Probably a lot.
I love how he's like, shut the fuck up. Don't tell them our evil plan, because they're probably going to beat us, and then they'll know our evil plan.
I'm going with they kicked my ass for a full 9 months of game time.
It's true.
This game tricked me, because I heard y'all talking about how hard this was. I beat it on my first try, which made me think I was over-leveled. Then I got to the next boss and found out I was not over-leveled. I guess I just got lucky on this one.
I actually beat it on my first try, too, but only because I was quick with the kabuffs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't have them in my party. I actually tried to switch them into my party at the start of the battle, and then realized, oh, I don't have my wagon.
Yeah.
I had to switch around. Like, after my third try, I was like, all right, I need kabuff. Let me get my slime out, even though it has the wimpiest hit of all my monsters.
Yeah, but
kabuff is worth it.
It helped, yeah.
And Kasap. Did y'all notice that you can use that like 2 or 3 times and it stacks?
Yeah.
Yes, and it's great.
You get diminishing returns. Just keep using it until all of a sudden it's either a very small number or does nothing, and then stop using it.
Kabuff does the same thing. Like there's a limit to how much you can buff up, but you can use it multiple times, and it'll tell you it didn't work.
And it's fucking substantial.
Yeah.
Much like Persona, because like when I grew up, I did like I learned status moves in Pokemon where who gives a shit. Like it's only ever important in PvP, and I never played PvP in Pokemon.
Same.
But Persona and Dragon Quest both are like, do you want to double your attack for the next 5 turns? Okay, here you go, and not like piddly returns like everything else.
Well, the reason it's done in Pokemon is because Pokemon you have one party character, so that's your whole turn.
Yeah. And
then there's like Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne, where unless you're building your party around having the really good buff and debuff spells, you're not gonna win. You're not gonna beat the game. You're just not.
Yeah. So like for the final boss of Persona 5, I had my initiative order worked out where I had the person that just doubles everyone's attack went first, then then the boss went, then Anne went, who had concentrate, and then I had to lower the defense of the boss on the next person, and then I had raise everyone's defense on the next person, so then Anne could go again to just waylay on the boss for like 5,000 damage, and it felt so fucking good.
That's great.
Buffs are great. I'm learning. It took me a year. At this time last year, we were still in Persona 3, and I was like, man, I don't even know what Secunda does. And here I am talking about my buffs and debuffs. I've come so far.
Proud of you.
But yeah, so we finally beat Robin to Hood, and we go back to the
To Gotha.
to Gotha, and they throw us a party, and everything's dope. So
Well, they throw us a party
you're-
after something big happens.
Yeah, very, very
oh
dramatic.
yeah, I thought I was conflating the two, but yeah. So
Right.
we go upstairs, and this part, like, I was gonna put in memorable moments, but I'm just gonna go now because it's great. So you go upstairs, and they're like, "Get out of here! She's having a baby," and you're like, "Wait, right now?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So the music cuts out, and it's just a ticking clock, and nothing you can do will progress the game. Like, talking to all the NPCs doesn't do anything. Going to a certain part of the map doesn't do anything. You literally just have to wait for your kid to be born. And my God, if that's not an accurate video game representation of the, like, Summer was in labor for, like, 20 hours with Scarlet. Those 20 hours, I was pacing around Gothic Castle just listening to a ticking clock, waiting for this baby to come. And it was so fucking good. Like, I love... Like, my favorite thing about JRPGs as a genre is they're made iteratively and not, like, systematically. So you get to things like this, and you're just like, hey, guys, can you just program a timer right here? And you're like, yeah, why not? And you just do it. And it's so good. You get to do little shit like this all the time.
And also, of course, it's precisely an echo of the opening scene of the game.
Yeah.
Which is cool because it identifies you with your dad.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, so then you have your babbies, and what did you guys name your babbies?
They're twin babbies, a boy and a girl. I named them Victor and Lily.
Okay. What about...
I named mine Vince and Vanessa.
Nice. What about you, Eli?
They're both named Bender Jr.
That's not going to get confusing.
I named mine Gohan and Videl because I know what their character designs look like, but also
Lots
that's
of
weird.
V's.
That's weird because Gohan and Videl bone in Dragon Ball.
Oh, yeah, that's weird.
I didn't think that through, but there we go.
I also
Goku
didn't think
doesn't
mine
know
through
what
too
boning
much.
is, so from Goku's point of view, Gohan and Videl are just his
His
child
two
and his
kids.
other child
Yeah. It's like weird
that showed up later.
Weird that I got a child when she was 18, but okay. But
I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't watched that far.
Yeah, honestly, I would have stopped you because that Videl is a pretty big surprise in the show. But oh well.
I mean,
I have no plans to watch it, so it's
I'm
fine.
in for
I mean,
Bernard.
she's not
Wow.
like that big of a surprise. She is a character that likes Gohan that shows up later. Is basically all that matters.
Oh,
But
I just meant everything about her arc is just such a delight. You know, I wouldn't
it's
want to
good.
spoil any of it.
It's good.
But
her
she's like the best character in the show.
her arc exists, Bernard. I'm sorry. Now you know.
No.
But yeah, so we go and name our babbies, and I think so hard that Nira's about to die right here because she's just like, I tried my best.
Yeah, I
I'm
had
better
the same
now.
thing. I'm like, if they fucking kill Bianca, I am going to go slap Yuji Horii.
Yeah.
Dying in childbirth is such an interesting thing because, like, in real life, of course, it's like a terrible tragedy and it's awful that it happens. But like, it, especially in old times, it did happen like with a high enough probability that you can really just put it in. A writer can just put it in their story anytime they want.
Right.
It's like a totally cheap plot device, but you also like can't knock it for being contrived because you're like, yeah, no, that happened pretty often back in the day, especially before they had good medicine, and it happens depressingly often today because of our terrible American healthcare system. But yeah, it's sort of like characters dying of consumption. It's just like, yeah, that's just happened a lot. So if you ever need someone to die, you can just there's your out as a writer.
Yeah, pregnancy or
But that didn't
TB.
happen.
That's all you got. But no, she did not die. As a side note, the LP that I'm reading named their Nevermind. Well, no, it's a spoiler for 5 seconds from now, because I forgot. Eli put it together at this sort of reveal at the end of the day too. But he named the kids Erdrick and Lodo for the boy and the girl, which is cute.
Nice.
But Lodo is the Japanese name for Erdrick, by the way. So
I thought
okay.
I knew my kid Erdrick.
yeah. So because spoilers, he's the legendary hero. When you here in a second, he's going to be like, "Oh hey, Dad, what's this sword? I've been waving around pretending to be cool all morning."
He's just swinging it around like it's nothing.
Like the kid who I used to babysit who'd get a butter knife and go, wah, wah.
Yeah, and so
That rules.
Here also is the first time when I thought that Luna was going to walk out, because it fades to black and it's like, a new king, a new prince and princess are born. The news spreads quickly throughout the land. Everything is great. And you're like, okay, now time jump. And then it's like, nope, keep playing. And so it just
This is
Nope,
when the
it's
party
not
happens.
depressing yet.
nope. They do 3 or 4 fade to blacks where I think it'll be over, and then there's more. So yeah, now they throw us the party.
And we go on a bender.
Yeah. So for the first thing that happens actually is they officially knight us, they king us, and it's really cool. All the NPCs from the town are there to witness, and it's super cool.
You get a fancy red cape that kind of clashes with your purple turban.
Yeah.
I love how this entire game, doesn't matter if you're getting married, doesn't matter if you're being a king, doesn't matter what happened, you're always wearing that stupid fucking turban. Except it actually rules.
You have the worst haircut in history, and they're like, just take off the beanie, and you're like, no. This is
Absolutely
I need this. So yeah, we go to the party, and we get fucking sloshed, like hella sloshed. We wake up in the church, as one does, and
Just on the floor.
on the floor. And
Everybody else is on the floor, too.
and we
And
got
Ikumi Nakamura voice, it's spooky.
it's spooky.
Love her.
She's so good. She's not only good because she's an adorable Asian woman. She's so good because she's literally the protege from the Resident Evil guy.
She's an
And-
absolute rock star game designer.
yeah.
Yeah,
She's so
done
great.
art for like Okami, and I forget her other credits, but when I read them I was like, whoa.
Yeah, she rocks. And like just seeing her like unused concept art from like was The Evil Within their last game?
Yes,
Yeah.
she did art for Evil Within.
Yeah, and so it's like just seeing her unused concept art. Like there's one that's like a human head with human like elbows sticking out of its ears, and it's fucking like gross and awesome. And I'm just like, yeah, she rules. She's spooky. But yeah, so when you wake up in the church, the nun and the priest are also knocked out and drunk, and I just imagine you got your big old flagon of ale, and you bust in, and they're like, "Sir, this is a church. You can't do this." He's like, "Nah, I'm king. I can order you to get drunk with me," and you do. And yeah, so you're investigating everything, and everyone is asleep. So you decide to go to bed, and your wife and kids are missing.
Or go check on your wife to make sure she's okay.
I mean, yeah. But so you go up to your room, and everyone's missing. So as you go to leave, you hear the faint sound of a baby crying from your bedroom. And if you're like me and Eli, you then check every single interactable object in the entire castle, trying to find these babies. And turns out they are in the bed, which does not have an interact symbol. The only time in this game.
There was no fucking exclamation point, so I had no goddamn idea.
There's no exclamation points for anything in the DS version. I just literally immediately went to the bed and was like, what's going on?
Yeah. We were spoiled by our modern intricacies of the interact symbol.
Yeah.
But,
Modern gaming flapstractions.
yeah. So out pops the chambermaid, and she's like, "Hey, the queen's been kidnapped, but I saved your babies and hid underneath this bed. I will take care of them. Surely your queen being kidnapped isn't a sign that this is bad and I should leave. I'll just hang out right here." And so we decide to go and find her, and we set up a war council room to know where we're going. And we decide to go to... Oh, I think they actually don't know, and you have to find it out yourself.
Yeah, they don't tell you where to go.
Yeah, this part was cool. I accidentally had saved and stopped playing here, and then I came back and couldn't remember what they had said, so I thought I was just lost. And I looked up at the guide, and it's like, no, you're supposed to just stumble into it. And
this part is a little bit actually interesting little trivia of a Dragon Quest IV reference. So yeah, earlier in the game when you're in the castle, you're literally about to be knighted as or crowned the king of the castle. You should be able to go anywhere, right? But if you try to go in the chancellor's room, the guard's like, "Oh, this is the chancellor's room. No one's allowed in here." And I'm like, "That's not suspicious at all."
Oh yeah.
And then later, after this happens, now you can go to Chancellor's room because you're the king now, fucker. And you go in there, and I'm like, okay, Chancellor's obviously bad. Let's see what's going on in his room. And you find these mysterious shoes with little wings on them. If one has played Dragon Quest IV, one immediately knows what to do here. But if you haven't played Dragon Quest IV, you should out of luck.
Yeah, because the tooltip only says use when the time is right, which I know is this is a key to an arbitrary lock thing from having played other Dragon Quests, not even 4. So I know that it's a thing I have to use. I just don't know when that time is right. It turns out world map is when that time is right.
Or right there.
Oh, you can do it right there?
Yeah. Fly through the ceiling, I guess.
Important notes for the war room before you leave it and you go find these fruity shoes. They're really gay shoes. I love them.
Yeah, me too.
Before you leave, the Prince Albert is like, it's almost as if someone put sleeping potion in the drinks.
Oh yeah.
And you're like,
Also, where did the Chancellor go?
Yeah.
And then as you're about to leave, Sancho's like, no, you can't leave. This is bad. Haven't you heard of foreshadowing?
Yeah.
And the circular nature of history or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And you're like, here, take this big sword. And he's like, okay, I'll take the Zenithian sword and keep it safe for you. Should I take the Zenithian shield as well and keep that safe for you? Nah, I'll hang on to that for some reason.
Yeah.
And then you go.
Yeah. So you use the flying shoes, and it takes you not to Zenithia, which is what I thought was going to happen when I finally realized it, just across a little lake nearby. You're like, okay, cool, I guess. And so then you have a tower to climb, and I really loved this tower as a dungeon. I pulled a Maddie and happened to take the right direction every single time. So there was a lot of it I didn't explore, but at this point...
You missed so many medals.
This is a hell of a fucking dungeon.
Yeah.
It is.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
It's by far the biggest, most elaborate, and extremely good in my opinion, but also, like, Jesus.
And
Yeah, there's
like,
a lot.
It definitely reminded me of like a late game dungeon from one of the earlier ones, but it's not late game. We got a lot more game left, and it was really, really cool.
I think the reason it's such a spike is because this is the final dungeon of this chapter of the game.
Yeah.
So it's time for that escalation.
Yeah, and it's cool. So one thing that happens at the very beginning is you find some dude and he's like, I'm waiting for my younger brother to get here, and then you go upstairs and right in the next room there's a dude's like, I'm waiting for my older brother to get here. But
classic joke, classic RPG joke.
But yeah, that guy heals your party to full for free. He's the place where you go when you die, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So I guess he's a priest, but like he's not part of the normal Catholicism that charges you. He's like he's a Calvinist priest.
He's a rogue priest. No, if he was Calvinist, he'd be like, no, you were predestined to die, and also you're evil and you're going to hell. Fuck you.
He's a Unitarian Universalist priest.
Yeah,
there we go.
So several times as you're climbing up, monsters will just be mad at you and run and do it. And I think it's because, are there no random battles here?
Oh no, there's tons.
Okay. I remember one of these being like, oh, I'm running into a lot of on the map dudes. And
here's what it is, Sam. I'm pretty sure that your battle RNG, like your RNG to determine when, like your counter to count when you're going to get into random battle, I think it might reset when you use stairs.
I believe so, yeah.
Maybe
Because I
so.
had
What
that same
happens
thing.
is each room, if you're making a beeline from one stair to the next, a lot of these floors you can get through with no battles.
Okay, that's probably what happened to me.
So that's probably why you thought there were no random battles, because a lot of the floors there won't be unless you are going around in circles because of the way the RNG works, which is cool when you're trying to, Dark Souls style, just try dashing through to try the boss over and over and over.
Yeah. And so you make your way up. The dungeon is really cool and windy, and there's a part where like the tower splits into two, and you have to fix the bridge with some puzzles on one side to make it to the other side and keep going up. And it's real cool. There's a room with like spikes that jet out of the ground, all Fire Temple style from Ocarina of Time, to build an invisible maze, which is cool.
This is the part where you have to drop rocks from the floor above, Pokemon Red Blue style, in order to block fire jets that hurt you quite a bit.
Oh, that's what you do about the fire jets. I
tanked
used
it.
heal all a bunch.
They do a lot of damage to you.
Yeah.
They do. I used heal all a bunch.
Here's something that's
yeah.
neat. A lot of the time in this game, if you leave a floor or room, it resets. The rocks don't reset unless you leave the dungeon. But here's what's cool. If you die and go back to the bottom, or go back to the bottom to heal, that's not leaving the dungeon.
Yeah.
So if you don't literally exit to the world map, you can try as many times as you want, and as soon as you put those rocks in front of the fire, they will stay being there.
Yeah, see,
Which is nice.
I didn't realize that you could knock rocks down from above. I just knew that one, and I was trying to find some way to use it as like a shield to get through, and I couldn't figure it out, so I just blocked one of them.
Yeah, you push them all into the big hole.
Yeah, so I blocked one of them, and then I ran on that side right in front of the block, so only one fire would hit me, and then healed on the other
Gotcha.
side. I figured that was enough of a puzzle to get
some
through.
of the rocks are actually bad guys, just like fake mimics or just like fake chests or
Yeah.
fake urns. There's also a fake rock, which is pretty cute.
Yeah, that's annoying. But so it turns out that room where you're knocking in the rocks is optional because I didn't need it, so I never looked in that thing.
You go upstairs.
Yeah, I never needed those stairs because I tanked it, so that's cool.
Lol.
Yeah, so you make your way all the way up to the top, and there's a bad guy, and he's like, "Let's fight." So you do. And then there's another bad guy, and he's like, "Let's fight." So you do. And
This guy took me like 2 hours to beat.
That second guy was real
Chimera?
The
hard.
second guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
What the heck? I totally saved it. Where is it? The Chimera Pawn.
Yeah.
He let's put it this way. On my last attempt, it was like, if I don't beat him this time, I'm watching a Let's Play. Because I have to go to bed, because I have to wake up in 3 hours to do this podcast.
Yeah.
And I finally beat him with 58 HP for Maddie, 17 HP for Goody, and everyone else was dead. If he had had one more turn, we would have died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He hits like a truck. I hate him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I beat him first try with my buff everyone and hit like a truck, but I think I had wiped on the person before, so I came in like full health. Like it wasn't a gauntlet for me. I could just give him a good try with a full party. But yeah, we make it past that Chimera guy, and we come in and we see our wife, and she's like, "Wow, you actually came for me. Like, did you think I won it? Like, such a weird. Like, of course I came." But we then have to fight this big guy, and by big guy, it's
Big horse-headed guy.
It's
Wow, you actually came. No, he's like, no, that's my line.
it's the, at least in the Super NES version, it's the people that killed Pancras. I don't remember the pig one facing him. I just remember facing Aaron. But
It's just the mad horse.
yeah. But so yeah,
Or he remember he when you after in a second when you kill the mad horse, he references the other character. Oh no,
Okay.
that's right. Yeah, exactly. He's
Okay.
not, I guess off doing other villain things.
yeah. Oh, never mind. He put in a screenshot from when they killed Pancras and showed the other guy. So it's just horse guy. But yeah, so yeah, you face a horse guy and you win.
Well,
You
not quite-
face
not quite
horse
exactly.
guy, and
Yeah.
at first you can't hurt him, but eventually your
yeah.
wife is like, "I'm gonna do a thing," and she breaks his magic shield, and then you can hurt him.
Yeah,
Because on this part, I had just come off of that previous boss, which again, it's like 3 a.m. now, and I was almost dead. And I'm like, oh god, there's a third boss. Are you kidding me? And then in my heart, I was like, please let this be a forced loss. I don't want to actually do a boss.
Yeah.
And then I start hitting him, and I'm only doing 1 damage, and I'm like, oh, thank God. The lords of video games heard my prayers. This is a forced loss. I'm good. And then Deborah breaks his shield, and it's like, no, you have to actually beat him. It's a real boss. And I'm like, fuck. Luckily, I wiped, tried again. Wasn't that hard.
yeah. So then you beat him, but then the evil Dark Lord is like, oh, so looks like the blood of the legendary hero still thrives inside of your wife. So kapoof, you guys are now turned to stone, which looks really dope in your story. Like that shot is awesome. I wish it wasn't a spoiler so I could just show more people. But
Yeah, he's like, instead of killing you, I'm gonna turn you to stone so that you can watch the world decay.
yeah.
And you're
Yeah,
like,
which implies
cool.
that this whole time you're stone, you are conscious,
Yeah. Which is cool. Which is
which is not fun.
No.
not at all. Yeah, so it was great watching Eli play this because he's like, great, I've made it through all of these fucking bosses and now I'm turned to stone. And he's like, oh wait, no, this is on purpose. Never mind.
I was like, so they're just gonna like essentially kill me off? Great, thanks. Appreciate it. Thank
Right.
you, Yuji Horii.
Right.
You've been a real pleasure.
Yeah.
Been great working with you.
Wouldn't that suck if like the credits rolled here and it's just like Dragon Quest V is the game in which you lose, which like everyone talks about how there's a big twist and it makes the game good, and that would be a gigantic twist that would make the game good and interesting. But of course, good has to win in the end. So like that wouldn't be the end in a JRPG, but it would be metal if it was.
I will just say as a little tip for all of y'all. Every Dragon Quest game does end in saving the day and being a hero, and it's good.
Yeah.
So you don't ever have to worry about that happening.
Yeah.
Because it won't.
Yeah, it would have been awesome if it did. So, yeah. So you, as you're turned to stone, the evil guys leave, and then the people that were healing you come up, and they're like, "Oh shit! Look at these awesome statues. I bet we could sell them, and it will be great." And I'm just like, I thought you were better than that, heel buddy. Fuck you. And so they go to sell us somewhere. So then back in Gotha, everyone's like, damn, the king's taken forever. Does anybody know what happened? And they're
He's
like,
probably dead.
they're like, no. And they're like, well, shit. So yeah, so Sancho is like, don't worry, I'll make sure the babies are safe, and hopefully your mom and dad return. So then we get auctioned off, and they put us up for auction, and then they're like, all right, well, what's the price for your wife? And they're like, nah, I'm going to keep this one for myself to do naughty things with. And that
That's
grossed
immediately
me.
what I thought too.
She's made of stone.
It grossed me the fuck out. Like, what is he
Yeah.
going to do? Like, he's...
I actually think that when he says I have special plans for her, he has a specifically not that special plan for her.
Maybe.
I don't remember what it is yet, though.
Yeah, maybe he knows that she's the Holy One or something, but it sounds like he's going to real doll with Nera's statue.
Yeah.
Very rough.
They
And importantly, they lie and say that you are also a statue that brings good luck, because back in the day you could just say that something was lucky
Yeah.
and people would believe you.
Yeah.
So this rich guy pays a fuck ton of money for this beautiful, lifelike, incredibly carved statue that also will bring good luck.
In the Super NES one, he sells for 2,000 gold, which is less than I spent on a spear earlier. So I'm like,
You sure it's not 20,000?
It is 2,000 in the Super NES. It's probably
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's like 20,000 in iOS or something. But it's just
it was like 20,000 there.
It just makes me laugh that they're like, wow, look how rich he is. He can buy a spear. But yeah, so he drags us back home and sets us up in the courtyard and is like, look, we're going to be so lucky and everything's going to be good. But then instead, time passes and the world goes to
Very
shit.
important thing. He bought the statue to commemorate the birth of his child.
Yeah.
So he tells his wife, look, you just had your baby. Here's our statue. To commemorate it, it'll bring our family good luck as we raise our child.
But we should also say that this guy's name is Signor Porgy, and his son's name is Georgie Porgy.
I'm surprised there wasn't a Bess involved in this.
Right. Yeah, so then the most beautiful scene I've seen in a 2D-ish RPG probably ever. It's like up there to like the opera in Final Fantasy VI, is you just watching this baby grow up as a statue as all the seasons change, and it's fucking great.
Yeah.
It's so
You get to watch
pretty.
a kid be born and then grow into a fine young man, except it's not your kid. It's someone else's kid.
Yeah, and
you're a statue.
it's
And your actual kid is somewhere else growing up to be a man,
Yeah.
and you're not there.
it's a metaphor. Yeah, so then fucking the sky grows dark because the world goes to shit, and out comes evil monsters that are like, oh hey, we're looking for every kid that's exactly 7 years old today. So we're going to kill Georgie Porgy, and so they kidnap him, and obviously you're not good luck. So then the guy comes out and beats the shit out of the statue, because I would too.
Knocks you over on your side.
Yeah, and he knocks you over, and he's real mad. So then more years pass at this point, and out comes eventually Sancho and Gohan and Videl, all grown up, and the Mr. Porgy comes out and is like, "What are you doing on my lawn?" And they're like, "Oh, this statue," and he's like, "Well, that statue is supposed to bring me good luck, but it took my kids from me, so fuck it, you can take it." And like, "Okay, cool. Hey, Videl, heal him." And Videl's like, "Okay, cool." And then, ta-da, it's you. And he's like, "Whoa, that was a human this whole time." And Mr. Porgy runs away scared. And
I just spent all that time chiseling his junk off.
Also, Videl heals you with a special magical fantasy MacGuffin, stop people from being turned to stone rod, that like they got on an RPG adventure off screen.
yeah,
Yeah.
which is cool.
Like apparently they've already been on this world traveling adventure looking for you and looking for this magical rod.
They've
or
had
something
their
like
character
that.
development.
So like,
Yeah.
One thing I found funny is that Sancho offers to pay for the statue, and he's like, "Nah, just take it away." And then immediately on the spot, they heal him, and he turns into a human. They could have just done that. Like, if he had turned into a human and been like, "Okay, I'm leaving now," like, he couldn't say, "Wait, no, you have to pay me for the statue."
No, they didn't want to expropriate the guy's property without
Permission.
compensation.
So, yeah, so our kids then introduced themselves, and I cried. It was really touching, because the girl says, "Hello, Father. My name is Videl, and it's really nice to meet you." And it's just like,
It's Binder Jr.
Yes.
and it's great. So
You didn't even name your hero Bender.
Correct. That's what makes it even more funny to me.
God damn it.
it's so good. So then the least subtle hint towards a future plot point that we get is Gohan is then just like, "Oh, hey, Dad, you know that Zenithian sword that only the hero of legend can hold? I've been using it this whole time. Huh. Weird.
Weird how that works.
And
I don't think it means anything. I think it's just a coincidence.
Yeah, and so then Videl casts Zoom, and we head back to Gotha, and Prince Albert's old, and it's cute.
He turns into the same sprite that the Chancellor used, so you like go downstairs and you're like, oh fuck, the Chancellor! But it's Prince Albert.
It's Prince Albert. And
it makes sense that he's like, don't you recognize me? I'm like, no.
No, you switched sprites.
Yeah. And so what's awesome is your kids are you're like, okay, well, you're 7, so stay home and be safe. And they're like, nuh-uh, Sancho already told us you went on your first adventure when you were 7. You can't fucking talk us out of this. We're coming with you. And you're like, well, damn.
Shit.
So I guess you're
got
coming.
me there.
So you...
And it worked out great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you find out from somebody around here that Mata's hometown is just up the way, and you all decide that that's where you're going. So you save and stop for the week. Right?
Yay.
Did I miss something small there at the end? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Well, Sancho says that he can come with you if you want him to.
Yeah. I didn't take Sancho because my flambe is kicking ass and taking names. So I left Sancho, but I have Goku, Gohan, Videl, and my flambe.
There's
Also,
actually another party member you can recruit at this point.
Oh, yeah?
There's a Gothan soldier. You can actually talk to him when he's a little kid, and he's like, I want to be a soldier when I grow up. And then you talk to him as an adult, and he's like, I want to travel with the king when I grow up, which I'm already grown up. So let's go.
I didn't find that.
You can recruit that guy, too, if you want to.
I did not find that, but yeah.
So you don't have to do Pokemon at this point if you don't want to, because you can make a full party of humans.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
I didn't think about what part it was going to be because I saved immediately because it was very, very late. But first time I played this game, I feel like the traditional Dragon Quest V party, canonically, I feel like is your kids and your dog.
Yeah.
Is
Saber is a
your
good
cat.
one.
But of course you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Or your kids and a flambe.
Yeah, I really like Saber a lot, but like he doesn't have any utility fucking skills, so he just hits every turn, and like I need that free ass sizzle from Flambe. It's OP as shit. But yeah, let's do memorable moments. Scarlett is playing the Doc McStuffins game on my iPhone, so I do not have any of mine. So the pregnancy one from earlier is mine, and I'll probably remember the ones that you guys say, which is dope.
I liked the old lady who was not welcome in, who talks like a hippie, and she goes,
Yo, man, I'm Granny Knott, and I suppose you could say I own this place here. You know, people live among nature, and then they return to the ground. Every one of us only gets one chance at life, so you may as well make sure it's a gas. Have a cool journey now.
and I'm like, you were a weird grandma.
She's like one of those IRL people, like in our current society, you'll meet like people who like were big hippies in the 60s and now they're fucking grandmas, and they're always like you know they've seen so much shit and now they just don't care.
And when it's finally revealed that your wife is pregnant, the nun there says, "Congratulations, Eli. Are you ready to be a father?" And I went, "No."
Same.
And she says, "Well, no doubt you'll need some time to get used to the idea. It's all very sudden." I'm like, "Well, apparently she's been pregnant for a little while."
But same here. I was like, "Nope, absolutely not."
Yeah, but nobody wanted to tell me.
One of mine is this is very minor, and I bet Eli noticed this one too. Whenever you're doing what's it called, TNT. One of the random battles you can run into is these enemies called pips, and the pips are like it's like a party of heroes. It's these 4 little blue guys, and they're like little like bipedal little imps, and there's a wizard and a warrior and a barbarian
priest.
and a priest.
That's
and
cute.
they have a little party, and it's like 4v4. It's great. They're just really cute.
I never
also
ran
when-
into those guys.
Yeah, I know. I only ran into them once, so I guess I might have a little RNG. Also, when you're doing TNT, you can go to a shop, and the shop cuts to like a first-person view of a shopkeeper, and he looks like some Final Fantasy VII shit. He's got like 4 polygons. I don't get it. It's weird. Also,
is
share
weird.
just a couple of Deborah's. At one point, Deborah, you talk to her, and she goes, "Sometimes I don't have anything to say. That's all. It doesn't mean that I'm in a bad mood. I just don't feel like talking to you. Of course, sometimes that is because I'm in a bad mood, so you'd better stay on your toes."
Speaking of Deborah, did Briscoletti shower you in gifts, Bianca?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I thought that might have been like...
Well, he gives money and the Zenithian shield.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, along your journey this week, did he leave pots of gold for you to find and a soldier to give them to you at, like, every entrance to every dungeon this week?
No.
Cool.
Yeah, when you first get to Helmanuptra, there's a soldier, and he's like, "Oh, thank God you're here. Mr. Briscoletti sent me. Here you go." And he drops the treasure chest, and it's got like 3,000 gold in it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
And later that happens again, but I forget what the item is. Speaking of Helmanuptra, did y'all find the guy that dies?
What?
Oh, I
No.
pushed him over to an oasis. I didn't.
You can push him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He was like, "I'm so thirsty," and then I came back later and he's lying on the ground. I'm like, "Oh my god!" And there's an oasis nearby, so I was like, "All right, well, let me see if I can do this." And I just pushed him over toward it, and he was like, "Oh dear God, water! Thank you."
So here's what happens. Yeah, you get there, and you go behind him, and he's like, "I need water." I didn't notice that you could push him. I didn't think about that as a game action. I thought, oh, I must need some kind of key item that's like oasis water or something. I'll come back when I have it. Turns out, if you leave the area and then a day passes and you come back, he's still there, and you can't click on him. he just
Fucking
died.
dies.
He just lays there. He's dead.
He's not that far from it. He probably could have crawled his way over.
It's funny as shit. I'm like,
I
fucked up this
talked to
quest.
him and was like, he was like, "Oh, I'm so thirsty," and then I walked a little to the east and was like, "There's an oasis right here," and I thought it was just like when you talk to someone on the south side of the well and she's like, "Oh, I'm waiting for my boyfriend," and then you talk to someone on the north side of the well and he's like, "I'm waiting for my girlfriend." I thought it was
Right.
just that, except it was like, "I need water. There's water over
Yeah,
there."
you figured it was just
Yeah.
like a joke.
So
Not,
you just
not
kind of
actually a
point,
quest.
like, go that way.
Yeah, so I definitely fucked up that quest.
That's good. Any others? Anybody?
Yes, I think this is at the beginning of the cave to Gotha, or more specifically, the cave to Battenberg. There is, at some point, a little cave you can go into, where you go in, and there's a bunch of skeletons, and it's really spooky, and then you go down further, and there's this old lady, and she's like, "Would you like to rest here?" And you're like, sure. And you go down, and you and your wife are sleeping in beds, and you wake up, and there's this really ominous sound, and your wife is like, "It sounds like someone's sharpening a knife. Can you go check?" And you try to press the button to get out of bed, but it says, "Bernie can't move." And then the woman comes down and it's like, "Hey, look at this." And then your weapon appears above her head and she says, "I was sharpening your weapon for you." And then you gain +5 strength.
I was
And
terrified.
you couldn't move because she gave you a sleeping, she cast a sleeping spell to make you sleep better.
Just to be nice.
She's
She's just very nice, and
Oh, and then she's like, "Heh heh heh. Sorry, I have a weird laugh."
she's super philanthropic, but in a really creepy way.
Right. She's like the roving bands of juggalos that like help people out and donate to good causes. We're just like, wow, you're really creepy, but like, thanks, man.
Oh my god, she's an old juggalo.
Oh god, you got hippies, you got juggalos. Also, representation in this game.
I just realized. So we talked earlier about grandma hippies. What will grandma juggalos be like?
Oh god, they're going to be either incredibly
Fucking
awesome or
magnets, how do they
fucking
work?
terrible.
I love it.
Just one or two more things. When you go to the tree hippie place, Deborah, if you party chat Deborah, she's like, holy shit, it's like a whole town built around a big tree. This is like the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. And then she goes, why are you looking surprised? I have my moments of being impressed every now and then. This game also has a lot of representation. If you talk to the bunny girl, she goes, I suppose bunny girl outfits aren't all that bad. Oh, sorry. You talk to the bunny girl, and I don't know what she says. And then you do party chat, and Deborah says, I suppose bunny girl outfits aren't all that bad. Perhaps you should try that on one day, Maddie. And I'm like, I will. and then later, when you're climbing up the mountain and the old man tells you that Gotha is in the middle of fucking nowhere, Deborah goes, so you're a bit of a country bumpkin then, are you, Maddie? And I was like, yep. And then...
If not from my hometown, from the fact that I lived on the lam with my dad and he never taught me how to read, and then I was in slavery for 10 years. So yeah, I'm a bumpkin.
And then when you get up to the snowy town, Deborah says, snow all year round? That's no good. I'll never have the chance to wear a skirt and high heels. And I was like, that's also representation. And then also, I love when you cross the bridge before going up the mountain, between going up the mountain and going down the mountain.
Oh, yeah.
You cross this long bridge, and underneath you can see all the trees, and you actually see a little miniature model of Gotha down below. And it's
dope.
Yeah,
really,
it was
cool.
really cool.
I really like that.
Any...
Final thing, one more. Every single time you talk to Sancho, did y'all catch that Sancho has, like, a catchphrase?
Calling you friend?
No, his catchphrase is saying anything on the variation of "This is the most happy day of my life." I ... parentheses sob.
Yes, I did notice he said that multiple times.
He says that like 5 times. He always just says something and then trails off and then says in parentheses sob. Which I've always loved that. That's how this game represents crying, is putting it in parentheses. That's so good.
Any others?
Yeah, that's it for me.
That's all.
What are you
good.
like? Cool. So that'll be that. So we should have 3 episodes.
3 or 4 episodes, depending on where it goes from here.
Yeah, so probably 3, which means next week we will announce what our next game will be. Right now, Cosmic Star Heroine is winning by literally 1 vote, because there are literally only 3 votes. We have 5 people that have moved over their support to Ko-Fi, and they have not voted, but they're also the people that voted on the last day every single time. So we'll see how it turns out next week, and we will announce. But if you want to play Shadows of Adam with us, you should go donate on our Ko-Fi.
Do it.
Yeah, so that will do it for the week. If you like what you hear, please donate at the said Ko-Fi at ko-fi.com/rpgbookclub. You can buy a shirt from shop.spreadshirt.com/rpgbookclub, or you can come and see us at Classic Games Fest, which is the 28th and 29th of next month. Me and Eli will be there. Probably Summer and Ken and Scarlett as well, because like it's a family event. Why would we not bring our families? And it will be cool. We might record like some live bonus episodes, just like talking about shit, like throw up a like Link's Awakening or something that me and Eli can just talk about, and just have people like, oh, you want to stop by and talk about Link's Awakening with us and do some shit like that. I don't know. We'll make it up, but we will have a reveal of a new cool thing for the podcast. So we'll be available for the first time there. And we also will have that intro episode we just recorded. We're going to have that on CD, which is stupid but cool. And so if you want to pick up our demo tape, you can. And yeah, it'll be lots of fun. So you should come out and see us. And I look forward to seeing everybody there. Classic Game Fest rules. I'm going to make sure that I leave my wallet at home because otherwise I will buy every copy of Legend of Dragoon that I find. But yeah, if you want to just chat with us, also shout outs to Francesco from the Discord. He bought a plane ticket to come and see us at Classic Game Fest.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, hell
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, that's super dope. But yeah, if you want to just chat to us, you can chat to us. That's not a word that people ever say. But if you want to chat to us, you can do so at Twitter at RPG Book Club or in our Discord, which is a link in the description. You can email us like our good friend Star Carver Ace did. He gave us some Q&A for our next live episode, which is dope. You can do that if you want to. If you want to leave us a review on iTunes, I read every one that comes through, and they make me really happy. It also affects people finding us on Spotify. People are pretty good at finding us on Spotify. If you want to just follow us there as well, just let people know that you like us, because we want more people to like us. But yeah. As always, I am Sam Allman.
I'm Elias Sailor Eli Warren.
I'm Maddie.
I'm David Bernard Hauk.
And toodle-loo, folks.
I love you.
Goodbye.